of Wheat Ridge. May I have a roll call of the member?
Okay, Ann Brinkman is absent this evening. Jim Chilvers.
Here.
Mark Dietrich.
Here.
John Dwyer.
Here.
Henry Hollander.
Here.
Dick Matthews.
Here.
Davis Reinhardt.
Here.
And Steve Timms.
Here.
Would Darrens please stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move to approve the order of the agenda.
Second.
Vote.
And that motion passes unanimously.
I move to approve the minutes of the August 20th, 2009 meeting.
Second.
And that motion passes unanimously.
This is public forum. Now's the time for persons to speak on the subject not appearing on the agenda. Do we have anyone signed up to speak, Adam? No.
Nope.
Are all of you here for the hearing? Correct. Okay. With that in mind, I'd like to open the public hearing for case number MS-09-02, an application filed by 3885 Upham Properties, LLC, for approval of a two-lot minor subdivision plat with dedications for property zoned restricted commercial and located on 3885 Upham Street. Do we have a staff report? We do. Here. State your name and spell it for the record, please.
My name is Adam Tietz, ADAM-TIETZ. This request is for, or case hearing is for MS-0902 Allen at 3885 Upham Street, and it is a request for a minor two-lot subdivision with dedication for right-of-way. All notification and posting requirements have been met, so therefore there is jurisdiction to hear this case. The property on which the action is being requested is zoned RC, which is restricted commercial. Let's go to the zoning map. And this zone district was established to accommodate various types of office uses, performing administrative and professional services, and limited ranges of retail that are neighborhood oriented.
Adam, I'm assuming you're going to enter the staff report for the record?
Yes. The property is located just north of West 38th Street, which is just out of the aerial photograph here to the south. And as a result of this, the majority of the surrounding uses are commercial in nature. Directly to the west is the Wheat Ridge Marketplace that contains a Safeway and other general retail. To the south is more neighborhood-oriented commercial businesses and services. To the west is Wheat Ridge Fire Protection District Fire Station and the Wheat Ridge Middle School. The property is a large square lot that is approximately 2.31 acres in size, which has a multi-story office building on it with a footprint of approximately 23,000 square feet. It's located on the northern third of the lot, and there is a parking lot associated with it with approximately 112 parking spaces that serve the office building. The southern portion of the property is undeveloped. Right now it's open space except for a access drive that accesses the parking lot for the office building, and then it also provides access to the property to the south of the current lot. The applicant would like to subdivide the property 3885 Upham into two lots in order to allow for the development of the southern lot. The RC Zone District development standards were used to examine the conformance for the newly created lots. Here we have those requirements and the proposed subdivision. The newly created lot, Lot 1, is required to meet all development standards of the RC Zone District. Undeveloped commercial property, commercially zoned property in the city has fairly minimal development standards, And as there is no size requirement, minimum size requirement, or no minimum lot width, and other items such as building coverage, setbacks, and landscaping requirements are not required to be reviewed unless a building is also being proposed, which at this time there is no building being proposed. When the building is constructed, however, those items will be looked at. Lot 1 will be 0.84 acres in size with a width of 120 feet and a length of 329 feet. The drive aisle on Lot 1 that provides access to the parking area for the office building, and then that also provides the access drive for the property to the south, will go away once the property is sold or developed, as indicated on note number 9 in the plat, which is exhibit number 5 in the staff report. Lot 2, the northern lot, which is the lot with the office building on it, the conditions will remain as is. The office building will remain as well as the parking. However, the lot will be reduced to 1.47 acres in size, and since there is no minimum standards for lot width or lot area, the lot will remain in conformance, and a substandard lot will not be created. However, when a new lot line is created, we do have to take a look at setback regulations from the new lot line, and as a result, there is the development standard in the RC zone district that a side yard setback of 5 feet per story be required, unless it's constructed of a non-flammable material. This building is constructed of brick, so it is non-flammable, and it essentially could be constructed up to the property lines. However, the new lot line being established is approximately about 115 feet from the side of the building. So there should be there's adequate spacing there. Landscaping is also to be reviewed. Lot 1, when that property is developed, the minimum standards are 20% landscape coverage. Once a building permit is filed for that, a landscape plan will also be required to be submitted with that to ensure that the 20% minimum landscape coverage is met. The northern lot, or Lot 2, was created prior to the current landscaping standards being in place, which were put in place in 2001. Prior to 2001, it required that 10%, that new subdivisions required that lots only had 10% landscaping, and since this lot was created prior to the current standards being in place, it only has to maintain the 10% landscape coverage. And this one does. It is approximately 13 to 15% landscaped. Subdivisions also do have the right to be reviewed for any dedication if public right-of-way dedication if the improvements are not in place or are not to city standard. In this case, the property has frontage for the entire length of both lots along Upham Street. However, for some reason, Upham Street and its improvements, curb, gutter, sidewalk, were never dedicated to the city, even though they've been maintained by the city. So the Public Works is requiring that that be dedicated to the city. Right now, I believe on the existing plat, it shows that it is a private roadway, which, as I mentioned before, the city does maintain it. And in addition, utility easements are required to be placed around the perimeter of each lot, and they are 10-foot easements on the front and rear property lines and 5-foot on each side property line, and those also have been established with this new plat. Here is an aerial of essentially the proposed plat, which the lot line you can see generally follows the back of the parking lot and goes straight across the property. You can also see the curb, gutter, and sidewalk improvements in this aerial as well as the access drive to the south, and then the access drive to the parking lot that will be removed at some point on Lot 1. The plat was put on referral, and they were contacted regarding their all outside agencies were contacted regarding their ability to serve the property. Public Works, again, required a 25-foot dedication of right-of-way, which has been shown on the new plat. Excel Energy has the ability to serve the property and does not have any comments. The Wheat Ridge Sanitation District did say that they have the ability to serve the subdivision at this point, as there's an 8-inch sewer main in Upham Street, but upon the building of Lot 1, it may need to be visited depending on what's proposed on that lot. Oops, I think I missed one there. And the Urban Renewal Authority, this area is just right out of the Urban Renewal Authority. Is just right out of the Urban Renewal Authority, but it was put on referral to them as well, just to see if they had any comments, and they didn't have any objections to the request for the subdivision. All other agencies that this was put on referral to did not send comments back, which generally means that they have no comment. So staff has concluded that based on the RC Zone District Development Standards and all the requirements all the requirements for this subdivision in the RC Zone in a RC Zone District have been met. Because the requirements for a minor subdivision with dedications have been met, a recommendation of approval has been given for case MS-0902 for the following reasons. All the development standards of the RC Zone District have been met. All requirements of the subdivision regulations have been met. All required utility easements have been provided, and a 25-foot right-of-way dedication is being shown on this plat in order to meet the standard for a local street width. Any questions?
Anybody have?
I notice there's no utility easement along the north property line, and
Of Lot 2?
Lot 2, and I noticed it was just removed by staff comment. What was that removed?
It was removed because technically when the existing lot that's there technically doesn't have to have any utility easements around it. It's just really for the new lot that's being created. And then let me go back to the aerial photograph. Here we go, this will do. There is existing improvements, air conditioning units, other things along the north side of the building. And by establishing utility easements along that north side, essentially a public utility company could come in and take out these existing improvements along the north side of the building. So that was the reason why it was removed from the plat.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I have a couple of questions. It's not. Are portions of Upham Street right-of-way actually dedicated? Or is none of it actually dedicated?
No, there is portions. There's portions of it all along the western half, or excuse me, the eastern half of Upham along here, from the center line to the east. I believe all of this area is dedicated, and I know for sure that this area is not dedicated. There could be a couple other spots along the road that don't have dedicated right of way. I'd have to go back and look at the subdivisions all along on Upham to see which ones and which ones.
But we believe that the right of way we're dedicating adjoins existing right of way to the east.
It does.
Okay. Because it's not actually apparent from the information in front of us that these lots have legal access.
Right. And
or exist as a legal matter.
Yeah, and Public Works comments, they don't know how it happened. They don't know why it was never dedicated for public right-of-way. I believe like I said, on the existing plat, it says private roadway, but it never has formally been dedicated.
Well, I mean, I'm not. I would be concerned that there was a legal determination that these lots have access to a public road before there was the plat was recorded, I'm assuming that someone has jumped that hurdle in your Public Works Department. I mean,
Yeah, that was previous to me, so I'm not exactly sure how it was dealt. Well, now it's being dealt with, obviously, with this dedication of right of way. So.
well, I would suggest that however wrong it was in the past, that creating a new plat that did not have access to the public right of way would be creating an illegal lot but I'm also assuming that that's not the case here, but I don't actually have that much information. So I would just call attention to the fact that you haven't provided us enough information to actually know whether this lot, in fact, has legal access.
Okay, well, I mean, we can make a note on there that says the east portion. Speaking for the surveyor, I'm sure it would be easy for him to add a note on here that says the east side of Upham Street along this subdivision is dedicated public right of way. Which then, by dedicating this, it would be adjoining public right of way and would have access to public right of way.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if I feel compelled to suggest that we make a condition upon execution of the plat that there be a verification that it has legal access to a public right-of-way during the process prior to recordation, I think is what I'm looking for.
Okay. Yep. I think that's doable.
And I don't care how it's expressed, but that prior to this plat being dedicated, somebody verify that you can legally get to and from this lot. I think that seems a fairly basic idea to me.
Yeah, certainly.
That's all I have. But anybody have anything else for Adam? Okay, before I take additional public testimony, I want to go on the record of saying that I know the representatives, the owner, Tom Rich, the council, and have worked with him at Wheat Ridge 2020, where he's counsel. I serve on the board, but I do not believe that conflicts me in terms of being fair in terms of my judgments on this matter, so I'm not going to recuse myself based on that relationship. And
All right.
can we...
I also have known the representative for years, and also am on the board of 2020, but don't feel that I feel that I can be impartial in this.
Do we have a list of people who are going to testify, Adam? Would you read the list? Yeah, in this case, they're the same, I think, but it's a good point. Does the applicant, I suppose, strictly speaking, I'm asking for the representative of the applicant to make a presentation if he so chooses. State your name and spell it for the record, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. Thomas Ripp, that's R-I-P-P, here on behalf of the applicant. I am counsel for the applicant. I've prepared an extensive 4-hour presentation in support of the proposition, but upon further reflection, I've thought perhaps it's better just to shut up and see if you have any questions, because I don't think I can add anything to the excellent presentation by Mr. Teets.
I would be fascinated to hear you weigh on whether there's legal access to the proposed lot or not.
We think there is, because Mr. Allen's been driving up and down the road for a really, really long period of time, and nobody's tried to stop him. And there are some cases about establishment of public right-of-ways using a method similar to adverse possession. I have one of those going on right now involving a Weld County road where we have the exact same situation. So, but we have no objection to verifying that, and/or if we have to add a note to the plat about legal right-of-way, we certainly appreciate the Commission's concern about that.
Questions for the applicant?
Is your intent to sell the property? Lot 1?
It may be, Mr. Allen is here, he hasn't made up his mind, by the way, when I say Mr. Allen. This property is going to be conveyed, he sold to a third party, now that third party is conveying back to us if we receive permission to go ahead with the subdivision. But Mr. Allen is keeping his powder dry right now with regard to the use of the property.
Other questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Close the public testimony. Discussions among the commission?
So my concern, based on your comments, is that prior to approval, we need a dedication of right-of-way?
No, I think what I think we need is a legal determination that the lot can legally exist, that the access is legitimate to, you can't create a new lot, and as I understand things in the world, without being able to demonstrate as a legal matter that it has access. And as a practical matter, what I think that means is a determination by city attorney's office and make a statement to that effect. So my suggestion would be that our motion would be as suggested by staff, with the condition that they get a legal determination from the city attorney that the plat would that there would be legal access to the newly created lot. I mean, I'm not, it seems like a benchmark we ought to get over.
Legal determination that there is legal access to the property?
To the proposed lot, yeah, to the newly created lot, has legal access.
Ready for a motion?
Any more discussion from the commission? No. I guess I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve case number MS-0902, a request for approval of a minor two-lot subdivision plat for property at 3885 Upham Street for the following reasons. All development standards of the RC zone district have been met. All requirements of the subdivision regulation have been met. All required utility easements are being provided. 25 feet of right-of-way is dedicated by this plat to the city of Wheat Ridge in order to meet the standard for a local street width. And this might be out of order, but I would like this motion to also include the condition that it be shown that the lot does have, that there is legal access to the lot.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments before we vote? Let's vote.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any new business from anybody? Anybody have anything they want to bring up? Just a reminder that we've all been invited to the joint study session of the comprehensive plan in a couple of weeks, and I think that would be a good place for us to go. Oh, it's on here. It is another item, and I don't have anything else except that. Adam, are you guys having any luck finding more staff for your group there?
More staff for our group.
Yeah, I was heard you were in a hiring process.
Yeah, actually, there is, the Planner 2 position was filled. Her name is Jennifer. I can't remember her last name off the top of my head. She is from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. She has worked in the private sector, but has served as a consultant for the public sector, as I believe Minnesota state statute requires that every town update their comp plan. I think it's every 5 years, and so a lot of the towns obviously don't have the staffing there to do that sort of thing. So she's worked both in the private sector and sort of the public sector, but she's got a background in landscape architecture and planning, and so she's done quite a bit of things. So, but yeah, she starts this coming Tuesday, after the Memorial Day holiday. So,
Great. Anybody else have anything they want to
Adam, do you have any comments about the permitting process for the storm damage?
I know that right now it is still, we're accepting applications for the rebate for homeowners, but there hasn't been the funding set aside yet, and it is going to take a motion for council to approve the additional funding that it's going to require to rebate homeowners. So that here, I'm not sure when that will be, so.
So they're treating it as a new budget item?
Well, I think they have to amend, or not amend the budget, but I'm not sure what the terminology is, so I don't want to get caught up. But they essentially have to approve additional money to be spent for this.
Okay. Anyone else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Vote.
It's 7-0.
Thank you.
One of these times I'm going to vote again.